Welcome back YouTube, KRoad17 here with a brand new video, F1 2019 career mode. And as you can see, we're going to do a little bit more housekeeping, just looking through the contract, wondering when I guess I get to update it, but hopefully it's soon, because I'm waiting for that elusive mid-season driver transfer. But as you can see, we're looking through our R&D department, and I have made a move for the chassis there, but looking through, still third worst on the grid. But we have made quite a jump, but McLaren has made quite a jump now too, so they move ahead of somebody. And just looking through our engine components, making sure they're not all worn, I'm switching a little bit over just to make sure that I have the right components for qualifying, right components for practice. I usually tend to use the worn out parts a little bit more during the practice programs, because I find the practice programs aren't too hard to pass, but qualifying for some reason is incredibly difficult. The AI will go a lot quicker, but as you can see, we're going to jump right on to a little bit of practice, actually switch it up for you viewers. I appreciate whoever's viewing these videos so far. Appreciate it so much, you guys. But we are on practice, just doing a couple laps here, setting the car up. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble with understeer and the tire ballast. Not the tire ballast, the brake ballast. It's causing me to lock up and just chirp the brakes a little bit here and there. But I'm trying to get all the resource points I can to upgrade this car. So not only my car, but Kimi's car, my teammates' car is a lot better, but we're going to jump right into qualifying.
Hello and welcome from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix, for today's qualifying session. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on in the corners and max out down the straights?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
Are you kidding me?
Right, a little bit of an electrical problem at the moment. We're working on it now, so don't worry. We're going to get you out there as soon as possible.
I'd appreciate that, Jeff, as I only have so much faith in this car to get out of Q1 at the Canadian Grand Prix, but we're looking into the weather, checking out the tires, making sure everything's set up. I do drop my fuel a little bit, I think, just in case, but enough to go 2 laps in case I invalidate. This track is very easy to invalidate your lap, but we go ahead and skip. I know you guys, or I actually sometimes just accelerate time so I can skip it, but we're gonna jump on board with our first lap and see how we get on with the Canadian Grand Prix. As you can see, we are not, the best, but it's a learning curve when you jump off of assist and go no assist here. But you know, getting every corner right on a brand new game. Seeing the corners you can kind of get away with, but we crossed the line. Currently P14, not too bad. But here's something really funny. I tried to get out and do one more lap, but I actually left the pits way too late, and I ended up not having enough time to get around to start a lap before Q1 was done. And that is us out of qualifying again. So, you know, it's just an ongoing issue. So I just retired from the race, or not the race, the session, because I'm not going to be able to set a lap. That's us. Currently P19, I believe it is. Just to confirm that, we're going to jump down here, see what we have. Yep, no, P20. We've gone P20. I don't need to laugh. Almost 7/10 off the time, but here we go. We're going to jump right into the race.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, The 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Perez, Gasly, Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, Butler, Sainz, Lucas Faber and Albon, Raikkonen, Norris, Nico Hülkenberg and Rose. They've taken a grid penalty. Stroll and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
So because we're starting P20, I decided to make the bold move and grab some of those extra components for your engine that you would take if you get a penalty, but since I'm already starting P20, why not get the extra ones? So we're looking over our race strategy here. Two-stop, I know this track is pretty high on tire dig, so I decided to go with the two-stop. I thought Alfa chose the right idea. I actually underfueled the car a little bit, maybe starting to look into that, but we're waiting for the 5 red lights to go for the Canadian Grand Prix, and they are out. We are go, go, go. We get an okay start, maybe a bit of a shaky start. We have Norris in front of us, Hülkenberg's right in front of us. We look for we actually get bumped, throw our hand in frustration there. Warning, Russell has bumped into us, and somehow we get the warning. Bit argy-bargy here with Norris going up into this the curve, trying to follow our teammate. Are we going to get the inside of Norris? No, we back out of it. Get a little hairy with Hülkenberg there. Could have caused a little bit of damage to our front wing, but luckily we get out of that with no damage. And we make the dive on Hülkenberg, so we get that move done. Following Norris here, we see Kimi, our teammate, right ahead of him, so we're going to try to jump up with Kimi because we know our car is pretty equal to his, so whatever I'm feeling, he's going to feel pretty much similar in this race. Look for an inside look on Norris. It's not going to work too far back. We're going to follow Norris, see if anything opens up. I noticed this curve was a lot better for me compared to the AI, so I move on the inside of Norris, maybe make a look on Kimi, decide against it, tap Kimi just a bit.
We're looking good from the start.
Never mind that, we're going to jump on board with lap 2, coming up to lap 3. Across this line, Kimi is caught up to Sands here. I believe that Stroll has got around Sands, so Stroll is, pun intended, on Stroll, I guess you'd say.
Okay, entering lap
3,
3
I
now.
make for an
DRS
inside
has
look
been
on
enabled.
Kimi. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel action, but we do get around him, so we're going to push on, try to catch Sands, maybe keep on board with Stroll. You never know. I mean, we're fighting as hard as we can for this race. There's really nothing to lose starting from P20 with a brand new engine, basically, because every compound in this engine is brand new, because we took all those brand new ones as we were already in P20, like I said. So why not take them? It's only going to help us throughout the season. We're trying to keep up with Sands here and catch up to Stroll at the same time.
Okay, battery's looking good. You can use overtake to get past.
We look think about that, Jeff, on the next DRS zone, because we're not too far away from Sands now. Maybe think about making a move soon. We do pull in close. I felt like I pulled close to these guys a lot at this corner alone, because I've seen them get better traction out than they did. And I promise you, it's not traction control. I just seem to have the car set up. The DRS is open. Can we pull into the back of Sands and maybe make for like an outside look inside? He guards the inside here, so we have to go a little easy on the brakes. There's no move to be made there. There's a big paddle happening in front of me, so maybe these guys are going to slow each other down. Stroll and Albon are now fighting position. I move on the inside of Sands. Can I keep that position? I get a track exceeding warning. Sands and me wheel by wheel. Can we make it? Oh, we do just about. Sands still there. I have to keep an eye out. Stroll and Albon right in front of me. Weber not too far away now. Our old teammate from F2, Weber, is in our sights. Can we keep up with him? A lot is happening on lap 4 of this Grand Prix, this Canadian Grand Prix. We've caught up to Albon. We have Stroll in our sights. We have Weber on our sights. We're already moved up 5 positions in this race. Can we get anything out of this race more than, you know, a P13, P12? Can we actually score points? We have a yellow flag ahead. Let's see what happened here. Can we see? No, it must have been behind us, so we are clear. We are in the clear. We're going to jump back later and take a look at that, see what happened possibly.
Some information on Russell. They are out of the race. Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Drop your speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
So somehow we make a move on Albon legally on the virtual safety car, but let's take a look at what happened to George Russell coming through. This is actually not the only car, but he blows an engine right in front of home McLaren's. McLaren is lucky to get away with not collecting the Williams there. So George Russell is unfortunately out of this race, causing a virtual safety car. So now it's our turn to save energy, save fuel, and try to gear up for what is basically another race restart.
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
So trying to keep with the positive delta right behind Stroll, Weber, Ricciardo's actually right there, and Butler of all drivers is right there as well. So we are in the thick of it. Can we keep up with this pack and try to make a move? Our best move seems to be at the hairpin towards the back straight of this track, but up until then it's fighting the car just to keep up with these guys. As you can see, they have so much power that we don't through this corner. Come on, Alpha, let's do it.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
Copy that, Jeff. We're going to push on. Stroll ahead of us. Ricciardo ahead of us.
Caution, caution. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
So Russell, another Williams, a double Williams DNF for the Canadian Grand Prix. He is out of this race. Pulled over at pretty much the same exact spot. Never mind that, we are right next to Ricciardo. He squeezes us next to the wall. Can we get through and follow Weber through? This is going to be a very tight corner approach, but we get the job done. Can we push on? We do have DRS. Maybe we can catch up to Weber and look for a move on the next lap. Only lap 6 of this Canadian Grand Prix. 35 laps and only 6 done. I am already exhausted. This has been an interesting and very exciting opening laps, but we move on to lap 7. Another green flag is shining. There, Max Verstappen is out of this race. I have no idea, but here he is, pulled over right at the same spot that George Russell was out of this Grand Prix. So it seems to be a very popular spot for this AI to retire. But we're gonna jump on board and see how Max Verstappen is out of this race. He's following one of the Ferraris. Everything is looking alright, and all of a sudden, pretty much the same thing. I don't know if his engine blew. You can't see any smoke, so maybe something just failed. Whether it was turbo or if it was a hydraulic unit, but you see all these cars rushing through. So Max Verstappen pulls over, and he is out of this Grand Prix. Back to racing, we have Weber in front of us, and we have our old rival, F2 rival Butler.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Never mind that, Jeff. I'm in a battle, a very epic battle All F2 guys are in a battle here. Butler, Weber, myself. Weber and Butler side by side. I'm going to hang back here and just see what pans out. Weber and Butler going wheel to wheel. Weber gets very slow and almost collects our front wing. So we have to, manage that, keep this clean. I'm going to follow these guys for a little bit and see what transpires. Weber does have DRS like myself. We're going to pull on to Butler. Butler's going to look to defend again. Butler goes very defensive, gives a little bit of a break. Pushing on here, this is the best corner of the track for us. So we're going to look to see if we can make a move, but I think better of it. Weber actually locks up and sends me a little bit wide with another lockup. That was unexpected, so let's see what DRS holds for us here. Weber's car is going to be very strong. Butler's car, not so much. So I take the outside line. Weber follows Butler. We're going to go 3 wide into the final hairpin, the champion wall. Who's going to make it out? I actually have to escape through the exit. And that was a little bit of a corner cut, but somehow they allowed me to make that move without penalizing me.
Gap to car in front is 2.1 seconds.
Leave me alone for a second, Jeff. I just had the best overtake in my race. Vettel actually gets out ahead of us from his pit stop. So we are going to move on to lap 13 here. And
This lap
we definitely make our pit stop here. And you can see I get a little better at the pit stop. I don't think so. I slowed down way too much. Weber actually follows us in. So it's a challenge to see who has a better pit stop strategy here. Can we get, not pit stop strategy, pit time. We're in, tires are on, and we are out. Looks like we are going to beat Weber out. So the Williams do not pip us in the pit lane. But we're going to come out right on board with a fight on our hands.
Let's get some heat into those tires.
Let's see who we come out with. We have Weber behind us still. We have Norris, and we have the 2 McLarens right next to us. Actually, now in front of us, Norris and Sands. So we're going to be battling the McLarens. Not a bad thing to say, I guess. I do love the McLaren team, but this is going to be one heck of a battle. They do have a better aero package, I believe, and a chassis, but we have the better engine. So let's see what's going to favor in this race as we push on. We're going to try to catch up with them.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
As we do what Jeff says, just to keep up with these guys, because we do have Weber still behind us pushing hard. We do eventually get around them and we jump on board with lap 27.
Don't forget, box this lap.
So we're going to make our last and final pit stop of this Grand Prix. Coming up, we are following Gasly.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
Currently in P7, so we're not doing too bad, but I think everybody else has made their pit stops, so we might fall out of order and have to fight for points here. A little better at the pit entrance. You guys, I mean, come on. If you guys in the comments below want to, mock or knock me for my pit entry, please do. Tell me how I can improve. I'm trying. But all 4 wheels on the car, we're off. That is our final pit stop. We're getting passed by so many cars now. Here comes a Haas and a Renault.
Last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
So it's now till the end of the race, and look who's right in front of us yet again. But we now have a Renault mixed with it. We have Ricciardo, Norris, and Sands ahead of us. We are currently P17. So if we want anything from this race, now is the time to push. Currently on lap 33, we have Raikkonen, our teammate, ahead of us. I think has only made a 1 pit stop strategy here. So he's going to be a little bit slower, and I'm going to use the DRS to get around my teammate. As you'll see, he makes it very easy and very comfortable. He knows not to hold me up. He's going to let me go. Easy as day. Goes right around the outside, and that is us into P13.
You've taken 13th place, P13.
Now our next target is Weber and Butler, and the likes of them ahead of us. You can see they're going really slow. Can we catch up to them and make any charge? Lap 34 of 35. We are behind Hulkenberg. Last lap, because we are a lap down, so we can't get anything from that charge. We are going to finish this race in P12. Not too bad of a race, though.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint. over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, Lance Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
So there you guys have it. Not the greatest race for Alfa. We don't pick up any points in this race. We stay 7th in the Constructors' Championship. I am 12th and my teammate only finished 14th. So we're going to have to really upgrade this car and look for better results towards the second part of the season. But we're gearing up for that. But until then, we're going to move on to the interview.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You were neck and neck with Lucas by today's finish. Can we look forward to more of the same?
Given what a great driver he is, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Devon is now ahead of you in the championship. Are you concerned?
In true Kimi fashion, I decide no comment on that one.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
And to boost our aero again, I chose, it didn't look like anyone else had as much grip as we did. So let's hope that helps us with the aero development of this car.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
With an Alfa Romeo team like myself, nobody can stop me. But no, with the team behind me, I don't think so.
Appreciate your time.
Guys, that's been it for this episode. If you liked it, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me very much. But thank you in the meantime, and I'm going to leave you with the highlights of this Grand Prix.